Well, hello everyone. I want to take a moment and say thank you so very much for joining our newsletter subscription list. Thank you for liking our Facebook page and just really engaging in a conversation about God's design for our life and family. You know, it's Selena and I's heart to not really give you all how-tos, but to really just inspire all of us to think God's thoughts after Him. For those who took the time to fill out our survey, a big thank you to you. If you haven't done that yet, here on the newsletter, there's a link you can go to and fill that survey out. We'd love to hear your thoughts on how we can make some content and get it to you in a way that is just going to be convenient and help your life. Again, as you just think God's thoughts after Him and desire to live out His design for your life and family. So with that, in that survey, I was really kind of impressed with how many of you talked about busyness, that is something you would like to hear about. And the reason why I find that interesting is not because that's what you chose, but that's actually what really I've been thinking on of late. And even as of the time of this recording last night, I was talking to a friend about this, and you know, they've been believing God for something for quite a while. And they were talking to me before church, you know, about how busy they are, how busy their schedule is, and all they've got going on. And I just felt really kind of nudged by the Spirit of God just to ask them, so if this thing you're believing God for, you know, this opportunity, maybe a relationship, maybe whatever, maybe this thing, whatever that thing is you're believing God for, especially something that's going to take time, if it showed up today, what would you have to drop or do away with in order to pursue the opportunity God's given you? So does that make sense? So if you're believing God for something, and it's going to take time for you to do this or engage in this or to manage, steward this opportunity God's sending your way, what would you have to give up in order to pursue that opportunity you've been believing for? And then the next question that came to my mind was this, and so why aren't you not doing that now? Why are you still keeping your schedule so full that if the thing you're trusting God for comes to pass, you're not going to have the time to go after it? You know, when we were pastoring in Canada, a good friend of ours up there, Jeremy, I don't know, Jeremy, if you're watching this, not, but hi, brother. You know, him and I were talking, and I was doing the same thing. I was talking about how busy my schedule was as a pastor, as a husband, as a father, and I was just talking about that. You know, and we have to be careful because being busy is a badge of honor in our culture, right? It's really good that we can hang busy up on our shirt and kind of polish it up a little bit and talk about how full our schedules are. But you know, Jeremy, whether he realized it or not, was really a voice of the Lord to me in that moment, because we were working in my shop at the house, and he stopped and turned and looked at me and he says, "Now remember, Brad, we can do all things through Christ, but we can't do everything." And that one comment from a good friend stopped me in my thoughts, and I had to think, man, he is right. You know, Philippians there says we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. But it doesn't mean we need to be doing everything. We have to not only follow the voice of the Lord and do what He's telling us to do, but remember that every time He asks us to do something, or every time we put our hand to something, we are going to probably have to say no to something else, and that's okay, even if the no is to something that seems important. Again, that's why it's so important that we understand why we're doing what we're doing, and is God asking me to do this? Because we can do all things. Whatever He asks us to do, we can do, but He's not going to ask us to do everything. So I just want to leave that thought with you here today. You know, just if you're believing God, and I just sense that there's more people out there than just my friend I talked to last night. But if you're believing God for something, what will you have to give up in order to pursue it? And then why don't you go ahead and start giving that up now to make room for the opportunity God is bringing your way? So again, thank you so much for following us. Thank you for subscribing. Hey, if these things we do, if they bless you and you think they'd bless other people, please just pass them along and ask them to send us their email, and we'd love to get them connected with what God is sharing in our hearts and with yours. And we'll see you again real soon.